Hey guys, today I'm going to do some verses explanation out of the Bible about marriage. So I'm going to pull up some verses out of the Bible and give its explanation to it. Because I want you all to know how important marriage is. Because most of people intend to get married and quick to get divorced. The hurry to get married and quick to get divorced. So marriage is a thing you don't take for granted and is very serious in the eyesight of God. So let's get right into the verses. Okay, so let's look at Hebrews 13 verse 4. And it said, marriage is honorable in all, and the bed undefiled. But whoremongers and adulterers God will judge. So the other file here they're talking about, it means not made corrupt or unclean, right? And if whoremongers means prostitution, and adulterous means sexual intercourse with the other person who who are not your wife, okay? So this verse is stating that marriage is honorable in all. So marriage is honorable, right? It is honorable in God's eyesight. It's honorable in all, and the bed undefiled. So it's honorable if it not made corrupt or unclean. So this verse is stating that the marriage is honorable in all once, and the bed unfilled. So this means once it's not corrupt or unclean. For example, gays cannot get married because that's going to be unclean. Because as you know, God made man and woman to be together, right? As he took ribs out of Adam and he made Eve. So, and they become one. So, gays will be a definition of unclean. But whoremongers and adulterers God will judge. So the whoremongers here is like when you are married and you prostituting with other people at the outside. And adulteress is like you and your partner are together but yet you have a sexual intercourse with an outsider. So those both God will judge. And remember, marriage is honorable once it's not clean. Once it's not unclean. So gays cannot be married. Gays cannot get married. That is for example, okay? So yes. So keep that in mind. All of these what I'm giving is just the laws coming down. Matthew chapter 19 verse 6. Wherefore they are no more twain, but one flesh. What therefore God hath joined together, let no man put asunder. So the twain means no more than two, right? And the asunder means put apart to break apart. So wherefore they are no more twain, right? But one flesh. So when you are married, there should be no more twain, right? It just only should be two parties, which is the female and the male come together to make a pair. It should be just a pair, which has given you one flesh, okay? It shouldn't be no more connection with any outsiders or anything. It must only be two. So that's why they say no more twain, but one flesh. What therefore God had joined together. So when you are married, God had joined you together. Let no man put asunder. So let no man separate you apart or put you apart or break you apart, right? That's what the asunder mean. So always remember that when you are married, please don't let the outsiders come and destroy your relationship, because God said it in the Bible. Let no man put asunder. Let no man come and break this relationship apart. Because what God has joined together is together. It is lawfully together, and you will be whole for that. Ephesians chapter 5 verse 28. So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loveth his wife loveth himself. So everyone knows that if a person doesn't love himself, how can he love someone else, right? So the same way the Bible is acting, if a man love himself, the same way he love himself and his body, he must love his wife, okay? So the only way to do that, you have to love yourself. If you don't love yourself, then you can't love anybody. His access. So ought men to love their wives as their own bodies. He that loveth his wife loveth himself. So that basically clear cut. Genesis chapter 2 verse 24. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. So when a man is married, he shall leave his father and his mother and cleave unto his wife. So he shall get his own house and he should have a family of his own, alright? So when he leave his father and mother, he and his wife become one flesh. He become the man of the home, and he have his own kids. So he not living under his mother and father roof, which is any rules or anything. So yes. So man, when you get married, you have to leave your mother and father house and cleave unto your wife. That don't mean don't love. I'm not saying do not love your mom or anything like that. I'm just saying you have to be a man now. You have to leave your mother and father, get your own house, hold responsibilities now on your own, and cleave unto your wife. Two of you become one flesh, and you guys will have kids. And yes, big man and woman. Ephesians chapter 5 verse 29. For no man ever yet hated his own flesh, but nourisheth and cherisheth it, even as the Lord the church. So, well, this is a kind of clear cut, as you could see, as no man hated his own flesh, but nourisheth and cherisheth is. Well, that is the same way he should be with his wife, right? Because they become one flesh. So the same way he will love himself and cherish himself, well, the same way he shall do unto his wife. The same way as Christ is doing for the church, okay? Christ will not leave the church. Same way Christ will love the church and nourish it and cherish it. So yes, it's the same way. Normally man does fall away from God, but God will not fall away from us. So that is basically saying that if you love and if a man ever hated his own, for no man ever yet hated his own flesh, but nourished and cherished it even, right? So you should not, the same way you don't hate and you nourish your flesh, the same you should do unto your wife, okay? Because remember, you all are one flesh. 1 Corinthians chapter 13 verse 7. Beareth all things, believeth all things, hopeth all things, endureth all things. So the beareth all things is both of you all should bear whatever trials or troubles, or they should bear it all together. Believe it in all things, believe that all they will get through everything, and believe in each other. Hope it all things, well, hope for the best, everything will work out, and endure it all things, so endure each other burdens. So you don't leave each other over stupidness, like maybe if trials come, maybe there is no food. Some people might tend to want to look for like a rich man because the man that they married is too poor now, he can't really provide. No, you don't do that, because you have to bear each other burdens and endure through it, and just believe that everything will get through, and put you by the grace of God, believe in one another and hope it for the best, that everything will get better, you'll see all the way better. So that's just an example of one, but there's many trials that will be going through, and they just need to bear one another through everything, okay? So that will be a reason for it to break up. And no, there will be many reasons and trials, but just remember, you are not alone. There are many also in the same situation. So please bear one another, as the verse is stating here. And remember, all this is not my words, it's God's words. It's the law of God. 1 Corinthians chapter 13 verse 4. Charity suffereth long and is kind. Charity vaunteth not itself, is not puffed up. So charity suffereth long and is kind. So you and your partner, although you may going through some sufferings and bearing, as I said, all the burdens, bearing each other burdens and whatsoever, well, just remember to always be kind to one another through every situation, and vaunteth not itself. Don't be always like loving yourself and not loving the other person, because as I mentioned before, that you have to love, as you love yourself, you have to love your wife the same way you love yourself, okay? So, and they say is not puffed up. So don't always make yourself higher than the other person in the relationship. Don't put yourself always above. Put yourself in the same situation, the same bracket, and you guys have to work in the same understanding. So don't always go above, because remember, you have a part role to play and the other person have a part role to play, and you don't know how them part role is compared to yours. You could be saying yours are tougher, but there again, both of our part role could be in the same situation, the same category. Nobody is higher than the other. So always remember that. And things will work out. Ephesians chapter 4 verse 32. And be ye kind one to another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as God for Christ's sake hath forgiven you. So this is stating that you both need to be kind to one another, tender-hearted to one another, and forgiving. There's many things. I know some people in relationships, out of relationships, and plus to other members, like family members or co-workers or other members in their life other than relationship, that is hard to forgive. Well, you have to forgive because remember, there are many sins that you are doing and God is forgiving you. The same way you want God to forgive you, the same way you need to forgive your partner. So I know some things going to be very hurtful, like for instance, if a guy cheats on you, you're going to be like, that's going to be hard to forgive him. Why should I do it? If I forgive him, he's going to do it again. Remember, you can forgive him, and if he goes and do it again, he will be whole. He will be whole for that. Don't worry. You forgive him, you will get your reward. You forgive her, you will get your reward. Because it's all about going through the law, and it's all about living to make it up in heaven, okay? So I know forgiving is going to be difficult, but we have to learn to forgive. So in a relationship, forgive one another, forgive and forget. Now, I know that it sounds simple, but it's not simple, because no one could forever forget. It's something to hunt them, but we need to try, okay? We need to try to forget, which is hard, but still. So you're not alone in it. Everyone is there in it. So yes, forgive. Tender-hearted. You need to be very kind to one another. Tender-hearted, forgiving, right? The same way for Christ's sake have forgiven you. So maybe if it have this going on in a relationship, I bet you that would be, the relationship would be more at love and ease and peace and kind, and it will be going on. Not everybody not every relationship is going to be perfect. It's going to have trials. It's going to have tough times. Again, we all are humans. We all fall. We all stumble. But just keep in mind of these words, okay? Even in Colossians chapter 3 verse 13, it follows up to the same verse we just now read, like right up there. The same identical meaning. Forbearing one another, forgiving one another. If any man have a quarrel against any, even as Christ forgave you, so also ye do. So the same verse up there is following up to that verse also. So yeah, the both is basically the same meaning. 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 39. The wife is bound by the law as long as her husband liveth. But if husband be dead, she is as liberty to be married to whom she will, and only in the Lord. So this verse is stating that when you are married, a wife is bound by the law, right? She is bound because when you're married, you cannot leave your husband, because I show you here in the vows, it have the part when it's same, till death do us apart. So that is part of the law. You cannot remarried if you are bound to that law. So the only way for that to happen, if her husband is dead, then the only way she'll lose from the law. Now, I'm not saying, woman, go and kill your husband to go and remarry, because if you kill your husband, God is watching and you will be very, very whole for that. So I'm not saying to go and do that. So hold your thoughts right there. I am saying that the only way you can remarry is when your husband is dead on his own, when God is ready for him, maybe. So yes, when he's dead on his own, without your doing, without you killing him, without you murdering him, then you are loose from the law to go and remarry. So yes, other than that, you cannot remarry, you cannot divorce your husband over all your tribulation, all your going through, all your trials, all your arguments, this one, that one, know how the arguments go. No, you cannot leave your husband over them stuffs. Okay, you need to work things out and understand each other and talk things out, and you know. So the only way that could happen is only if your husband is dead, then you are loose from the law and you are free to remarry. But you are only free to remarry someone of the Lord, as you could see, right? Or in someone in the Lord. So when you're allowed to marry someone in the Lord, not no person of the world, but a person who is in the Lord. Okay? So yes. Mark chapter 10 verse 11. And he said unto them, whosoever shall put away his wife and marry another committed adultery against her. And it also says in verse 12, up there in verse 12, it also says, and if a woman shall put away her husband and be married to another, she committed adultery. So basically, this is saying that the man and the woman cannot put away each other for no other reason beside until death do us apart. So it don't matter what's going on in the relationship, tribulations, trials, and whatever situation it could be in a relationship, you cannot put away each other over that. You shouldn't go get divorced over those stuff, because remember, in the law, if you had listened when you was getting married, there was a law. There is the commitment that said till death do us apart. And that little piece of commitment right there, it have more, but that one piece of commitment right there is very serious in the eyesight of God, because that is in his law. So they can't put away each other just so, because if you do so and you remarry another, you are committing adultery, and once you commit adultery, you'll be held against that. So yes, so know what you are doing, know what are you getting yourself into, and how serious marriage is. Most people will not know how serious marriage is, and they will take it for granted, but you can never take it for granted. Trust me, when it comes to God law, God is serious concerning his law. Galatians chapter 6 verse 2, bear ye one another burden, and so fulfill the law of Christ. So when you are married, as I said before, you can't put away each other just so. So you have to pay each other burdens, whatever you are going through, maybe hard life, maybe money, financial, relationship situation, misunderstandings, whatever you name it, whatever you are going through, you don't put away each other over them stuffs, okay? You have to pay each other burdens, work with it, and forbear one another, and live with one another, and go through everything together, right? And strive for betterment. Don't quick to get divorced or whatever. So work out a relationship. From the beginning, all you wanted to get married. So once in the beginning, all you wanted to get married, why for the divorcement? Because the partner was misunderstanding relationships, or you felt there was no love or anything like that. Well, we need to understand that we have to forbear one another, and we have to work things out and show love to one another, and try to work out things, right? Because the only way we could come out of this relationship is till death do us apart. Other than that, we have to learn how to work with each other. Think about it. You could leave this person and go to another person, and you end up in the same situation. And then you leave that person and go to the next one, still end up in the same situation. It goes on and on. You get love from the beginning, and then afterwards you get to live with the person and know about them, and then there's a lot of misunderstandings, and then you get fed up, and then you just want to leave and get out. Stop running away from problems. Problems will always be there. Don't run away from it. Instead, work with it, live with it, work towards it. 1 Corinthians chapter 7 verse 2. Nevertheless, to avoid fornication, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. So this verse is stating that you have to avoid fornication, and by doing so, let every man have his own wife, and let every woman have her own husband. So you shouldn't go and steal someone else's husband or wife, right? You should have your own. And the fornication means that sexual intercourse between people not married to each other. So if you know you are married to your husband, please have sexual intercourse with your husband not with an outsider, and the same goes for the wife. Okay, so both wife and husband, the same thing, do not have sexual intercourse with outsiders, only between both of you, because it will be fornication, and it's in the Bible that in the Bible it states nevertheless to avoid fornication. So God laid down his laws, and the law is to avoid fornication. So I hope my explanations to the verses was very clear and understanding to you all. And I hope that I said something which is a word of encouragement that can help you through this marriage and situation, and give you a little better understanding about marriage and what it is about, and what is the commitment of the law and how serious it is.